Pedri is living proof that football still has one last great midfield architect. In a sport where creative players seem to be fading away, he keeps the legacy of the greats alive.
Pinta bien, es un golazo de Pedri, claro. Golazo!
His touch on the ball is the most breathtaking in the world. He carries the elegance of Pirlo. The magic of Iniesta remains stronger than ever in his feet.
La bolita, a esconderla, a meterla entre rivales.
Bueno, una locura lo de Pedri, una locura todo lo que hace Pedri. Es el recital que hago de jugar, de hacer todo lo que hay que hacer en el campo.
And the precision of Xavi now belongs to the Canary Islander. He is the last true midfield maestro on the planet. A player who has pushed the limits of his own body, who is on the verge of breaking down.
El gesto de desconsuelo del futbolista canario, bastante, es notable y desde luego tiene mucho que ver con de dónde viene Pedri en este arranque de la temporada, también en la anterior. No está siendo capaz de coger esa continuidad a golpe de ir encadenando partidos que le permitan volver a tener el nivel que todos sabemos.
But who now stands as the engine and the heartbeat of Hansi Flick's team. He has become the single most important piece in a Barcelona that has found in him its absolute balance. Pedri's numbers this season are worthy of a legendary midfielder. He has scored 5 goals and provided 6 assists, making it a total of 11 goal contributions, surpassing the 10 that Luka Modric recorded the year he won the Ballon d'Or. In the Champions League, he has covered over 100 kilometres, averaging 11.33 kilometres per match, making him the Barcelona player with the highest distance covered. He surpasses Valverde's 9.7 kilometres and Modric's 11 kilometres, placing himself among the top 5 players with the most distance covered in the tournament. But Pedri is not just a playmaker, he is also a defensive pillar. With 160 ball recoveries this season, he has become a key figure in Barcelona's pressing and defensive efforts. His ability to combine defensive sacrifice with creativity makes him the most complete midfielder in the squad. If anyone ever thought football was losing its great midfield artists, Pedri proves them wrong in every match. He is both the present and the future of the game, the midfielder who balances the team, and the reference point that keeps the essence of football alive in its purest form. Chapter 1. The Canary who won the world over. Pedri conquered the world with his elegant football, his incredible vision, and his ability to make the game flow effortlessly. His talent led him to be the heir to the great midfielders in Barcelona's history, but fate had other plans for him. On September 14th, 2021, his life changed. That day, the pain was not just physical. It marked the beginning of a 3-year struggle. Season after season, injuries kept him away from the pitch, preventing him from reaching his full potential. With every setback, the uncertainty grew, and at one point, many feared his career might end before it truly began. But Pedri never gave up. He learned to fight, to strengthen himself mentally and physically, and to value every minute on the field as if it were his last. He transformed from a graceful and creative midfielder into a warrior, a player who doesn't just create plays but fights for every ball like it's a final. Today, Pedri is more than just a technical gem. He is the leader of Barcelona's new generation, the player who represents resilience, sacrifice and passion for this badge. His comeback is not just a story of personal triumph, but proof that greatness is not just measured in talent, but in the ability to rise after every fall. Pedri's path to the elite was never easy. He worked his way through the youth ranks of local teams until UD Las Palmas recognised his talent, giving him his professional debut in the Spanish second division. Shortly after, he caught the attention of one of the best teams in Europe. From the very first moment, he made it clear that he was a different kind of talent. It didn't take long for FC Barcelona to seize the opportunity. Ronald Koeman saw in the young player from Tenerife a rough diamond. He was immediately impressed and brought him into the squad for the 2020 to 2021 season.
Normalmente, el Pedri yo creo que ha sido el jugador que ha participado en todos los partidos. Y esto, con un chico de 17 años, yo creo que es algo grande por su parte, porque él merece estar. Y su mejor posición, hay varias, porque el jugador sabe jugar bien desde diferentes posiciones, donde nosotros necesitamos, donde es por nuestro rival, es tema táctica del equipo, y él puede aportar muchísimas cosas porque es un jugador sobre todo listo, y los jugadores listos, no hay ni un problema en jugar en otras posiciones.
Convinced they were looking at a special player. At just 17 years old, Pedri arrived at Camp Nou unfazed by expectations and determined to make his mark.
Esto de venir aquí al Barça e intentar tener minutos, yo creo que me lo planteé como algo muy personal, que si no lo hacía yo no lo hacía nadie, que tenía que trabajar, y yo creo que lo afronté con una ilusión que es la que tiene un niño por venir al Barça, y sabía que eso me podía dar muchos puntos.
And he certainly did. In no time, Pedri not only secured a place in Barca's starting 11, but also became one of the team's most outstanding players. At just 17, in his debut season as a Barca player, he scored 4 goals and provided 6 assists. These numbers were remarkable for a young midfielder in his first year. However, it wasn't until Xavi Hernandez took over the bench that we began to see a more refined version of Pedri's potential. At the same time, he entered the most challenging phase of his career, and possibly his life. It all started with the first record he broke, playing 52 matches in a single season at just 18 years old. This achievement made him the Barca player with the most appearances in a season, surpassing key players of that time, such as Frenkie de Jong, Griezmann, Lenglet, and Messi. Reaching this milestone at such a young age was an extraordinary feat accomplished by very few players. His impact wasn't limited to club football. In 2020, he played a key role for Spain in the European Championship, helping La Roja reach the semi-finals and showcasing moments of brilliance in every game. In his debut against Sweden, he became the youngest player to ever start for Spain in an official tournament. The fearless young talent was the best player on the pitch.
Todo ha pasado muy rápido, pero bueno, y lo intento llevar con la mayor naturalidad posible, de estar tranquilo y seguir mejorando día a día y cogiendo consejos de los que más tiempo llevan aquí, y bueno, mejorando, y espero pues estar muchos años disfrutando de esta experiencia.
Pedri wasn't just another promising Spanish midfielder, he was the player destined to define an era. His talent, vision and maturity on the field quickly made him an essential figure for both Barcelona and the national team. However, his meteoric rise came at an unexpected cost. His greatest challenge wasn't his talent, it was the excessive workload. During the 2020 to 2021 season, Pedri played 73 matches in a single year, balancing commitments with Barcelona, the Euros, and the Olympic Games. In total, he racked up 4,929 minutes across all competitions. His young body, still developing, couldn't handle such intense strain. In September 2021, muscle injuries began to plague him, changing the course of his career. What initially seemed like minor fatigue turned into a recurring issue that disrupted his continuity over the next few seasons. Every time he seemed to recover, another injury would strike, leading to doubts about whether he could ever return to the dazzling form that had captivated the world. Then Xavi Hernandez arrived to replace Ronald Koeman as head coach. Pedri remained a key player, and shortly after his return, he wasted no time in making an impact, scoring a goal. His class and brilliance were undeniable.
También es un golazo de Pedri, claro. ¡Gol! Golazo.
But soon another injury struck.
Mira Pedri, no pasaba por lo defensivo sino una zona de alguna lesión.
And after recovering, he suffered the same setback again.
Salen las asistencias médicas del Barça a atender a Pedri.
His battle against injuries wasn't just physical, it was mental.
Bueno, la lesión es parecida, sí. Vamos a ver las sensaciones que tiene él para estar de vuelta. Siempre hablamos de lo mismo. Bueno, son situaciones que nos dan pena, porque realmente, además, Pedri es un chico que se cuida, que ha hecho un trabajo extraordinario en verano para ganar masa muscular, y bueno, son situaciones que estamos viendo que pasan en todos los equipos, que hay lesiones musculares, que hay lesiones de articulaciones. Bueno, esto es el calendario, los partidos, el calor, hay tantos componentes y tantas variables para que el jugador caiga lesionado que no sabemos exactamente cuál es el motivo principal, ¿no?
Going from being Europe's most promising young midfielder to watching his career stall due to muscle problems was a devastating blow. He even suffered another injury in the Euros while facing Germany.
Rodri con Pedri, falta clara de Toni Kroos.
After that European Championship, where Pedri missed the final against England, things needed to change. The arrival of Hansi Flick as Barcelona's head coach marked a radical shift in Pedri's physical management. Flick, known for his meticulous attention to detail and holistic approach to player development, introduced a personalised training programme aimed at improving Pedri's endurance and reducing the risk of injuries. It wasn't just about making Pedri stronger, it was about managing his workload more effectively, ensuring periods of high intensity were balanced with proper rest to keep him fresh and in top condition. And my friends, under Hansi Flick, we are witnessing one of the best versions of Pedri this season. Barcelona now has a maestro orchestrating their play, guiding the team with his vision, intelligence and sheer brilliance. Pedri is no longer just responsible for dictating Barcelona's tempo. The Spanish international now steps up in key moments to make a difference. So far in the 2024 to 2025 season, he has accumulated 4 goals and 6 assists, reaching his best numbers since joining the Blaugrana squad. The best part, this season, he has missed just 1 game for Barcelona. The reason? Diarrhea. Pedri is now at 100% physically. The key has been injury prevention and adapting his playing style to the demands of modern football, something Flick and his medical team have been fundamental in achieving. With this new preparation, Pedri has not only stayed fit, but has also elevated his physical and mental game.
Bueno, sobre todo pues un entrenamiento en gimnasio diferente, simplemente que trabajamos de una manera diferente, una manera que a mí en lo personal me viene mucho mejor y bueno.
Solidifying himself as the true engine of today's Barcelona. Chapter 2, Pedri, the next Barcelona legend. Throughout its history, FC Barcelona has been the cradle of some of the most talented and dominant midfielders in world football. Xavi Hernandez and Andrés Iniesta defined an era with their intelligence, control of the game, and unmatched football IQ. Pedri, despite not coming from La Masia, has proven that his style is the purest reflection of Barca's DNA, to the point where it seems like he was raised in the club's academy. The biggest difference between Pedri and other legendary Barcelona midfielders lies in his ability to control the rhythm of the game. While Xavi was the brain that dictated the tempo with surgical passing, and Iniesta was the magician who broke defensive lines with his dribbling and quick changes of direction, Pedri combines both qualities with his own unique style. Pedri's game revolves around manipulating the pace of the match to benefit his team, adjusting the tempo according to the situation. He can slow things down to maintain possession, but he can also accelerate the play with quick combinations, a diagonal switch, or a perfectly timed through ball. He doesn't play to the rhythm of the match plays to Pedri's rhythm. His profile fits the classic Barca mould, a small, agile, intelligent midfielder with an elite understanding of possession-based football. His ability to receive the ball on the turn, shield it, and glide past defenders with ease mirrors Iniesta's, while his ability to read space and control the game resembles Xavi. What's most impressive is that Pedri didn't grow up in La Masia, yet he plays like he did. His adaptation to Barcelona's system was immediate, and today he is the player who best represents the club's traditional playing style in modern football. It's important to highlight that Xavi and Iniesta won everything.
Tercer título europeo en la historia de los Blaugranas.
But their true potential flourished in 2009 when Barca won the sextuple under Pep Guardiola. Xavi was 29 at the peak of his career, and Iniesta was 25, just entering the phase where his talent exploded on a global scale. Both were at the height of their tactical and physical maturity, ready to dominate midfield and define an era. In comparison, Pedri is only 22 years old. When Hansi Flick took over at Barcelona, the young Canary Islander was already one of the best midfielders in the world, but Flick has shaped and refined him, pushing him into a much more complete and decisive role within the team. While Xavi and Iniesta took years to reach their full potential, Pedri is ahead of schedule. Chapter 3, a limitless footballer. Under Flick, Pedri is not only crucial in building up play, but also in high pressing and attacking transitions. His evolution is reminiscent of Xavi and Iniesta, but with one key difference. He is taking on leadership and delivering world-class performances much earlier in his career. While Xavi and Iniesta needed time to establish themselves as the absolute leaders of Barcelona, Pedri is already taking on that role ahead of expectations. He has proven that he doesn't just have talent, he has the character and mentality needed to carry Barcelona on his shoulders in the biggest moments. That is to say, there are clear examples of this. In the biggest duels against Madrid this season, Pedri has been the key to Barcelona's dominance in midfield, allowing the team to take control with authority. In the 4-0 victory at the Bernabeu in La Liga, he was the one dictating the rhythm of the game, ensuring that Barca controlled possession and punished Madrid's defensive gaps at the perfect moments. Then, in the Spanish Super Cup final, where Barca dismantled Madrid with a 5-2 win, his role was exactly the same. He orchestrated the midfield, facilitated transitions, and was a crucial piece in dismantling Madrid through Barca's trademark possession-based play. In both matches, Pedri was not just a playmaker, he imposed his authority in midfield, proving that when he is in top form, Barcelona can outclass their biggest rival with ease. In the Champions League group stage against Benfica, Pedri played a crucial role in the thrilling 5-4 comeback. Not only did he provide a key assist, but he also dictated the tempo of the match, ensuring that the team found the right opportunities to pull off an epic turnaround. And his mentality and commitment were evident again in the first leg of the round of 16 against Benfica. Despite Kubasi's early red card, Pedri never backed down. He ran, pressed, and held the midfield together with an incredible display of work rate, ensuring the team remained balanced and didn't collapse, despite being down to 10 men. It's not just these matches. Every single game Pedri has played this season has been a showcase of quality, endurance, and leadership in midfield. So far, he has 11 goal contributions this season, with 5 goals and 6 assists. He has covered 102 kilometres across 9 Champions League matches, making him the Barca player with the most distance covered in this season's European campaign, averaging 11.33 kilometres per game. But running alone isn't everything. The most impressive part, he has 160 ball recoveries this season, making him the midfielder with the best defensive statistics in all of Europe. Simply put, Pedri is one of the most complete footballers in the world, and his continuous improvement seems to have no limits. Since his debut with Las Palmas, Pedri showcased a special talent, but few could have predicted how rapidly and consistently his game would evolve. Season after season, he has polished every aspect of his performance, transforming into one of the most complete and fearsome midfielders in world football. He arrived at Barcelona for just 15 million euros, and today his market value has skyrocketed to 100 million euros. In his first season at Barcelona, he already stood out for his vision, passing ability, and elegance on the ball. However, over time, he has expanded his skill set to become a total midfielder. One of the biggest aspects of his evolution, his improved physical endurance. While injuries were a recurring issue in the past, this season, Pedri has made significant strides in maintaining his fitness, proving he can handle the demands of a long campaign. He has become one of the hardest working players in every game, all thanks to Hansi Flick. Chapter 4. The Flick Method. Flick's work with the Canary has been fundamental. Moreover, since this season he has had much more time on the ball, he has become significantly more vulnerable to fouls.
So, no, it's getting silly now, they're losing their discipline.
Pedri was asking for a yellow card.
Opponents are struggling to stop him, and it's reminiscent of what happened with Iniesta. El Fantasmita was unstoppable. His ball control and skill made life impossible for defenders. The same applies to Xavi, whose ability to shield the ball was on another level. That's why Hansi Flick's method is so crucial. And even Pedri himself has confirmed it.
Bueno, sobre todo pues un entrenamiento en gimnasio diferente, simplemente que trabajamos de una manera diferente, una manera que a mí en lo personal me viene mucho mejor y bueno.
FC Barcelona has done everything possible to help Pedri overcome his physical struggles and regain consistency. To achieve this, they turned to Julio Tous, a world-renowned fitness coach, and entrusted him with the task of designing a personalised plan for the Canary. This plan was always coordinated with the medical staff and had the full commitment of the player. The first step was conducting an exhaustive muscle analysis. A biopsy was performed to obtain samples of his muscle fibres, which were then sent to a specialised laboratory in Baltimore. The goal? To gain an in-depth understanding of his muscular system, track its development, and optimise his treatment to prevent injuries. The study produced one clear conclusion. Pedri needed to incorporate strength training into his daily routine. With Julio Tous and Raul Martinez, his recovery specialist, by his side, Pedri fully committed to strengthening his body and ensuring he could perform at his best on the field. And now, all of Pedri's injury struggles are a thing of the past.
El tema de las lesiones pues es una cosa que ha quedado en el pasado y he tenido esa continuidad y ahora pues como te dije antes disfrutando.
The plan worked. Pedri is more complete than ever. Practically from the first match day of the season, this plan has produced results. In Flick's tactical system, the midfield is the engine of the team, and Pedri has taken on this role with total ease. His ability to dictate the tempo of matches, recover the ball, and connect with attackers makes him the perfect balance in the squad structure. To break it down, more offensive involvement. Pedri has increased his presence in the final third, boosting his numbers in goals and assists. Now, he not only creates play, but also finishes moves, making him a constant threat to the opposition, a physically stronger and more resilient Pedri. This season he has played practically every match, accumulating 3,122 minutes across all competitions and starting in every single game. Pedri has transformed into a complete and dominant midfielder. Flick has unlocked his full potential, and the best part is, he's only getting started. Now, Pedri is a true leader both on and off the pitch, and that was more than evident in the match against Benfica in the first leg of the Champions League round of 16. Simply put, he was the player with the most touches in the game, recording 92 touches, surpassing the second most active Barca player, Íñigo, who had 66. He completed 60 out of 65 passes attempted, achieving an impressive 92.3% pass accuracy. Alongside Rafinha, he was the player who created the most goal-scoring opportunities for his team. With 2 key passes, he stood out in defensive duties, recovering 11 balls, making him the outfield player with the most recoveries in the match. He attempted 4 crosses and completed 16 passes in the final third, leading the team in both categories. He successfully completed 2 dribbles and won 2 defensive tackles. He won 4 fouls for his team, helping relieve pressure and allowing for tactical reorganisation. He covered a total distance of 13.2 kilometres during the match, making it the second highest distance he has run this season across both La Liga and the Champions League. For this outstanding performance, Pedri was awarded the MVP of the match.
Sí, creo que cuando nos expulsan en todo momento sabíamos lo que teníamos que hacer, estar atrás juntitos, defender como un bloque y bueno, las que tengamos arriba pues aprovecharla con la velocidad de Rafa, la calidad de Lamine y Robert que las aguantaba y bueno, la verdad que al final se me estaba subiendo todo, pero bueno, cuando sabes que al equipo le hace falta ayudar, hay que correr como el que más y bueno, muy contento por la victoria, pero queda otro partido.
Pedri's performance was crucial in securing a 0-1 away victory under difficult conditions, proving his ability to take responsibility both in attack and defence. Additionally, he showed great humility by agreeing with Szczęsny to hand over the MVP award in recognition of the goalkeeper's impeccable performance. Pedri has evolved impressively over the years, refining aspects of his game that once needed improvement. Under Hansi Flick's guidance, he hasn't just perfected his strengths, he has also addressed his weaknesses, making him a far more complete and dominant player. One of Pedri's biggest improvements has been his decision-making in the final third. While he has always been praised for his vision, he is now much sharper and more decisive near the opponent's goal. He no longer just plays the safest pass, Pedri has developed the confidence to take risks, play incisive through balls, and create scoring chances even in tight spaces. This transformation has made him a constant creative force, capable of unlocking compact defenses with his tactical intelligence.
Pedri es impresionante, es increíble. Nos ayuda mucho en la posesión de balón, en mantener nuestro momento de posesión. Va a la presión fantásticamente. Estoy muy feliz de cómo ha jugado todo el partido.
His positioning, both with and without the ball, has also improved significantly. Pedri now understands better when to drop deep to assist in build-up play and when to push forward to receive between the lines. Off the ball, his ability to close spaces and anticipate opponents' movements has been essential to Flick's system. This makes him effective in both defensive and attacking phases, something very few midfielders of his age can achieve. Another standout quality of Pedri is his ability to be self-critical and his refusal to settle for past achievements. Pedri is not just a talented midfielder, he is a leader with a champion's mentality, someone who does not shy away in difficult moments and takes responsibility when things don't go well. A clear example of this was in the 4-4 draw against Atletico Madrid in the Copa del Rey. Despite playing an exceptional match, Pedri did not hesitate to express his frustration after the result, making it clear that a club like Barcelona cannot afford to squander leads in high-stakes matches.
Bueno, sí, es verdad que bueno, no es el peor resultado, está claro, pero cuando te pones 4-2 e irte de empate creo que es complicado. Ya nos pasó en Liga, que justo en los últimos minutos lo tiramos y lo volvemos a repetir. Tenemos que aprender de esas cosas, sobre todo pues tener la pelota, no tirar tanto, por ejemplo, la línea en esos últimos minutos y bueno, son cosas que tenemos que aprender, pero todavía queda una vuelta y estoy seguro que vamos a ir a por todas.
Pedri is destined to define an era. Every pass, every movement, and every decision he makes reminds us that we are witnessing one of the most special talents in modern football. Comparisons to Xavi and Iniesta are inevitable, but Pedri doesn't need to be a replica of them to leave his mark. He is forging his own path, creating his own legacy, adapting to the demands of modern football while staying true to Barca's DNA. The most exciting thing is to think about what's yet to come. If, at just 22 years old, He has already become the leader of this team. Where will he be in 3, 5 or even 10 years? If Flick and Barca surround him with the right talent and protect him as the jewel he is, the football world could be witnessing the next great global midfield icon, someone who inspires future generations, just as Xavi and Iniesta did before him. Pedri is not just the future of Barcelona. Pedri is the future of football.